This is the crossword for Wednesday, September 14th, 2022. For a target time, I'm not sure. It looks like it's already been done, but the time displayed over here is still for Tuesday. So I guess we're going in blind, but that's fine. TikTok's 3D musical eighth note. I guess that's their logo. On an irregular basis. Lose fizz is go flat. The 46th state. I was thinking that could be Ohio. But Ohioan doesn't fit, but nothing else starts with O. Hypothesis or hypothermic. Angling accessory is a rod for fishing. Like bonds and bond films. Rated R. So I'm looking at these circles and noticing that, of course, there's a gimmick. The shapes are interesting, but I mean, probably they form a word, usually is how that gimmick works. Watkins Park, New York. But I don't know, not having a word yet, I don't know what the gimmick could be. Part of PST, abbreviation. So Pacific Standard Time. So it could be like PAC, STD, or TM. I think it's this for standard. Out in front. I think I've been slowed down. Greyhound's capacity is bus size a little bit by talking more. So I might instead try to jump around more frequently, because that's normally how I do it when I'm not trying to record it. Elvis has left the building, so hopefully that's not too hard to follow. Posh Hotel Tain, I think is the Ritz. AC Doocy is a gambling game. Words of resignation are probably I quit, although the Q there doesn't look amazing. Well, if it's the name of a currency, I kind of believe it. But the U here also kind of looks not amazing. Stark and Flanders are both Neds, although I think Ned Stark spells his with 2 Ds. FBI guy is a G-man. What may be broken at a party? The ice. Covered in a way as a road tarred. Contents of college blue books are essays. I guess Mira Sorvino makes sense. A latte can be iced or hot. A load for Santa Claus. That's interesting. I don't know. Turn, Turn, Turn band. I've never heard of it. Lake Erie is at one end of the Niagara River. Some core performers, and it's an S. Lake at, I guess, the other end of the Niagara River is Lake Ontario. Lost Freshness. Is that like... Lost Fizz. Lost Freshness. Rotted Staled isn't really a word that I know. You called me? Yes. Compulsions Yens, probably. Tear or Tier. Suburb of Boston. Okay, so bus size is wrong because the Beauty and the Beast character is Mrs. Potts. Something to do with buses, though. Abba of Israel. I don't know. Roll for David Diggs on Blackish. Never seen it. Brainstorming question. In your opinion? No. Measures of detergent, maybe. So what if it's not on a regular basis? And what if this is cupfuls? Cupful have two L's. Because I like Y for the brainstorming question. Home of the Minotaur's Labyrinth. Was that in Crete? It doesn't fit. What if we say the Greyhound's capacity is a busload? Dressed with one end tied to the waist. I want to say sash. I don't know if it makes that much sense. Princeton Review, I guess, is a study prep company, I think. Punster is a wit, some would say. Neglected youths, are they waifs, maybe? I don't know if that's... I don't know if that's exactly the definition, but we can go with it. Theme song of a classic Western. I'm afraid I don't really know, not off the top of my head anyway. This is the word marry, kind of scrambled. I think I like a D here. Although I don't like a D here. So I don't know. Sets to 0 as a scale, tears. Some core performers are jesters. Is it really staled? Like, there's got to be something better, right? Because staled isn't a real word. And normally they put in real words, although sometimes they don't. Extreme amusement is hilarity. Okay, it's staled. Because this is jolly, this is merry. This is making me doubt standard here, because PA blank D I don't really like. Although, of course, I guess park could also be wrong. But I kind of like that better for some reason. Protein bean is soya. I guess Lisa Gibbons kind of makes sense. Sign up for his join. This seems familiar. It seems like Eben or something like that, or her name. I don't know. Of a classic Western. Could it be? Oh, sorry, of course, is the dress with one end tied. And I guess the classic Western is Happy Trails, which I've heard of, but don't know anything about. I didn't even know it was a Western, to be honest. Finish. What if it's not rod? Was there the steroid era? So what if the circles spell elated here? Finished could be fed up. One singer of 35 across. One singer of Happy Trails. Really don't know. A refinance. Do they spell Ohioan like this? I hope they don't. It's the 46th state. Oregonian. Food covered is a larder. Wildly. A muck, and it's an okie. want to say this is Dale something. And I guess this is Omira. Okay, I guess they're rated. I wanted to say like rated R or something like that earlier, but since it didn't fit, I sort of dismissed the idea. It also doesn't make sense for the normal bonds. Peak temperature. Okay, so I think Park is probably wrong between the circles not making sense and this being highs. Old Mac app. Okay, well, I guess the I is kind of a... What if it's Watkins Glen and the circles spell glad? Out in front. Something about a lead. Angling accessory. I don't know, man. I don't go fishing. Tear or tear. Speed. Like tear off, you speed off. I want to put an O here. But I'm not positive. Tore into, had at. License and title. Okay, Lynn. Good, I do think I did put an O. Volunteers offer, I'll go. Load for Santa Claus is a bag. Something Rogers. Maybe Roy Rogers. Wispy clouds. I was going to say strata. Midwestern metropolis. Chicago. Do people just call it Chi? Abides by, holds. Oh shoot. There's cumulus clouds, nimbus clouds, cirrus clouds. So maybe cirra is the plural. Pop up. Siri. Arise, and I quit is wrong after all. Brand behind Cakester Snack Cakes. I don't know. Is it the Birds? Maybe the Birds with a Y if it's Roy Rogers. I'm sorry. I don't know this band, but something's wrong here because Cholry doesn't make any sense. I like RY. I definitely like the Y considering that it's the end of that. Cambodian cash, I'm afraid I don't know. It's not Real, that's something else. It's Brazil, I think. Actually, it's a couple. REAL is Brazil, I think. Words of resignation, I lose. Maybe it is Real, spelled differently. Oreo makes much more sense, so it's not Real. Abides by, heeds, Riel, and then Sirai is correct. And cheery makes a lot more sense. Not guilty is a plea. Nah, none for me, pass. Why it was, for the brainstorming question. I don't know if I buy it. But okay. Yeah, because I was liking Hindus for holy people, because I think there's a Hindu holiday called Holi. I guess Johann makes sense because I think joyful is what the circles spell. Measures of detergent are cupfuls. I guess it's spelled like that. The Y is not looking good. I definitely like an O there. That's like a Greek island suffix. Was that ELO? Is that a band? So some kind of ideas. Is Y ideas a thing? Brainstorming question. Try ideas. That's not a question. Low face. Question mark. And what if it's capfuls? Yeah, because you measure the cap. And this is on an irregular basis. Any ideas? Okay, that makes sense. Low face is a jack because it's a face card, but still the lowest one. I don't know any actor Lucas. If this is a lead, I'm never doing the crossword again. Old Mac app. There's a lot it could be, right? A lot of those. There's probably iMusic, iMovie, but none of them that fit. Okay, ahead. I can keep using music. iShop, iShow? Question mark. No, I don't like the S. I don't think I'm going to get this singer. I just don't know it. I've heard of Roy Rogers, but I thought he was a fictional character, to be perfectly honest. And this one, there's no chance. There's no chance. The angling accessory feels like I should be able to maybe get it. Like before that it was rod. Obviously it isn't real because that doesn't fit. What else? I mean, there's baits, there's hooks, sinkers, bobs. I like rated, and BD looks too bad to replace it with bob. Launch. Pomp and circumstance also feels pretty gettable. Oh, and with the head and highs, I'm happy with standard. I don't know why I keep coming back to this actor, because I'm not going to get that one either. In fact, I'm pretty concerned about this square, where it crosses a singer I don't know with an actor I don't know. But if we can get it down to just that square, then we're in good shape. Because while I don't know this app, I'm pretty confident that it's going to be common word, because that's the format of Mac apps. So I'm going to be able to get this square, and then this is just a word. So I should be able to get this one, and then this is also just a word, so we can run the alphabet on this if we need to. Pomp and circumstance. So if we put iShop, which I don't love, but if we put it, where does that get us? Pomp and circumstance. So if we believe the H, which I do, then this is probably a vowel. I get E best, but O is the next best after that. Launch. Put an E. Take out the S. Launch. Pomp and circumstance starting with an E. So what could this be actually? So I don't like the S. So there's T, which I don't think looks very good next to the L. And really there's C, and that's about it. Is éclat a word? Okay, AA looked bad, but if it's someone's name, it's plausible. It could be like a Dutch name. It could be like Haas or something like that. Old Mac app. iChop. iChip. iChat. It's definitely iChat. Now launch could be, no, it doesn't have to be the verb launch. It could be the noun launch, like a launch, the event at which you're launching something. So what if we say, what if we say it's an R? This is either Dale Franz or Dale Frank or something. So like, I keep thinking heart because that fits it, but number one, that doesn't really work with angling accessory. And number two, it doesn't make sense as an answer to the clue. So if we focus on angling accessory, if we run the alphabet here, maybe we'll come up with something that makes sense. So an eft, I think, is a baby newt, which maybe you could use as bait, but I don't love it. Ext for extension, but there's no indication that it's a shortening. Let's put eft. Well, that looks pretty bad, doesn't it? Just make sure all the circles are correct. This is elated, this is glad, this is joyful, this is jolly, cheery, and merry. Synonyms for happy that have little trails. It's tempting to cheat, but I really don't want to. It's only a Wednesday. Like, it would be as simple as looking up Dale Frank. And then if it's right, great, we're done. And if it's not that, then something else is wrong, and it's probably effed. That was a stretch anyway. So it might not be iChat. It actually also might not be fed up. Oh my god, of course it's not fed up. I was thinking that it was finished past tense, but fed up doesn't match tense. So finish. Now the D actually looks very, very suspect there. Except of course that it's end up, and a net helps with angling. And a launch, the verb could be heave, and then it could be Dale Evans. 23:41 is a horrible Wednesday time. In fact, it's honestly not a great Saturday time. I don't know what went wrong there. That was just rough. That was really hard for a Wednesday, at least for me. It could have to do with the fact that I wasn't familiar with the gimmick, but I don't think so. That's a little bit of a cop-out. I mean, of course, it would have been a lot easier if I knew who Dale Evans was. I must have spent 5 or 6 minutes on this area alone, which is a significant time amount of time, but it still puts us at 18 minutes, which is still slow for a Wednesday. So I think it was difficult on top of that. This not being a real word, I really resisted putting it in for a long time. It was the first thing I thought of, but since it's obviously not a word, I didn't want to put it in. ENL, okay, I guess it's short for enlarge. I guess that's fine. I like tears. It's a nice word to have in the puzzle, I guess. License, meaning a title, is good. It's aesthetically pleasing to me. Brainstorming question being any ideas. It took a while to get there. I think I had a slightly different angle on the question. But I'm fine with it at the end of the day. That was just sometimes you take the wrong angle on a clue, and that's part of the game. Sirai is okay. I don't really like clues that pluralize words that aren't normally pluralized, especially if it's pluralized in an unusual way, like cirrus to Sirai, because, well, there are some words that pluralize that way, like cacti, I guess. Like cacti is like cactuses is also acceptable for cacti, because that's how English words are pluralized, and cacti is just a common enough word that most people recognize it also as the plural. Or like radiuses sounds funny, nobody uses it. Radii is the correct plural there, but I feel like rarely do people have the occasion to pluralize the word cirrus. And it's, an English word. It's from the Latin, but it's an English word. It's used in English. So I really don't feel right about deciding that it pluralizes in this way when it's not obvious to me that that's actually how people use it, because it's not obvious to me that people use it at all in the plural way. And if they did, I bet most people would say cirruses before they said Sirai. But that's a little bit beside the point. I did understand what they meant, so that's not really as bad a clue as it could be. Ned's I kind of didn't like because I think his name has 2 D's, but I didn't read Game of Thrones. I could be totally wrong about that. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about this puzzle. It was pretty tough, but that's everything for today.